Dear students, today we will learn the lesson The Portrait of a Lady, the picture illustration of the meanings and the summary in the easiest way in English. Portrait means picture of the face and the front part. Turban, a covering for man's head. Mantelpiece, a decorative frame over a fireplace. Fables, stories, prophet, God's messenger, rosary and bead. See the picture of rosary and bead, that is small round balls. Stoop, the bending of upper body here due to old age. Scriptures, holy books. Lewd, indecent. Cherish, preserve or keep safely. Harlot, indecent woman. Monopoly, owned by only one. Here, music should be learned by only beggars and harlots. Snapped, here broken. Persuaded, forced. Omitted, skip or left. Funeral, the social and religious activities during or before the burying of the dead body of a person. Spinning wheel, a household machine for making yarn or thread. Puckered face is wrinkled face here due to old age. Corpse, dead body. Shroud and crude stretcher is shroud is the cover for the dead body, and crude stretcher is a stretcher to carry the dead body made of bamboo. Cremation is the process of disposal of the dead body, usually burying, burning, etc. In different religions, different processes of cremation is followed. Now, the summary of the lesson can be divided into 5 main parts. Number 1, the physical appearance of the grandmother. Number 2, the stages of friendship between the author and the grandmother. Number 3, when the author went abroad. Number 4, when the author returned from abroad. And number 5, grandmother's death. Now, the physical appearance of the grandmother. She wore white sari. She had white hair with wrinkled face. She carried a rosary in her hand and telling the beads to count her inaudible prayers. Her body was slightly bent forward and her one hand always rested on her waist. She walked with difficulty. She looked like the winter landscape of a snow-covered mountain. She was beautiful and holy, spreading peace and satisfaction. The second part of the summary. The stages in the friendship between the author and the grandmother. When they were in the village, the author lived with his grandmother in the village as his parents lived in the city for earning money. The author's grandmother bathed him, made him ready for the school. She also sang her morning prayers. She prepared a breakfast of stale chapatis with ghee. She made his art and ink pot and slate ready for school. Author went to school with his grandmother and learned the alphabet. Grandmother read the holy books in the temple while coming back, she fed the chapatis to the dogs, and the dogs followed them to their house. Their lives changed when they came to the city to live with the author's parents. Otter went to an English school in a bus. He learned Western science and learning. His grandmother could not help him in studies. She was unhappy because there was no teaching about God. She became totally silent when she came to know that the author was learning music in the school. According to her, music was not meant for decent people. When the author went to the university classes, he was given a separate room of his own. His grandmother accepted the separation, but she gave up talking to the family members. She kept herself busy in her spinning wheel and prayers. In the afternoon, she fed the sparrows with funny scolding. When the author got the opportunity to go abroad for higher studies, his grandmother did not show any emotion. She came to the railway station to see him off. She kissed on his forehead but did not say anything except prayers. When the author returned from abroad, and met his grandmother at the railway station. But he felt that his grandmother was not so happy at the time. She was happier when feeding the sparrows in the afternoon with frivolous rebukes. In the evening, she collected the neighborhood women and sang the homecoming of warriors and thumped an old drum. The family members prevented her, but she did not listen. Next morning, she became sick. The doctor said it was mild fever, but grandmother thought it differently. She stopped talking to anyone and began praying. Since she was not praying from the previous night, so she started praying. But before the author and the other family members could know, the grandmother died. Her rosary fell from her lifeless fingers, and a peaceful pallor was spread on her face. After the death of the grandmother, when the grandmother died, the family members mourned her death, and later they left her shroud-covered dead body to prepare for the cremation. In the afternoon, when they came back with a crude stretcher, they saw thousands of sparrows sitting silently near her dead body. It seemed that the sparrows were mourning the death of the grandmother. The author's mother spread some bread crumbs to the sparrows, but they did not eat them. They flew away after the dead body was taken for cremation.